Welcome! In this video we're going to do a solo playthrough of FINSPAN published by Stonemaier Games. So down at the table, FINSPAN is basically an engine builder in which you're trying to place fish throughout your ocean, have them lay many eggs, have small fish, and then create schools to score the most points at the end of the game. So we have this achievements board. So on the one side we have our goals or achievements we want printed on there. So this is what's recommended when you start, or you can flip it over so these will be random with the tiles set out here. We're just going to play on the A side here. So basically what this is saying, the game's going to last over a 4-week period, and our goals for the first week is to have as many eggs and young fish out there. We'll get a point for each of those. Week 2, we're going to want rows of fish in our ocean to get 2 points for each row. Then week 3, we want to have as many schools of fish out there as we can, and we'll get 2 points each for those. And at the end of the game, we'll get points based on a multitude of different things. So game end points, which will be on some of the fish, points printed on the visible fish, and then points for the eggs, single young fish, the schools of fish, and then consumed fish. So we'll go ahead and with the setup, with that in place, the Natoma, you can pick from 1 to 5 for how difficult you want this to be. Basically they recommend starting with a difficulty of 2, so that's going to set the points for each card. They get 3 points at the end of the game. Schools of fish will be 5 points, and then 1 point for each young fish, 1 point for every 2 of the eggs, and then whatever they get for the weekly goals. There's also another mode you can add in that will give you, give the Natoma points for fish that you place in certain sections, and then negative points for other areas. We're going to set this to the side for now, so that's an additional difficulty you can add. But basically, once you determine your difficulty, they've got cards for each week. So if you're playing on calm with difficulty 2 or 3, then you flip them over for stormy for weeks 1, 2, and 3, for 4 and 5, and that's just going to give you a base value that can be added upon throughout the game. So we'll just set these up here. You're going to take this stack of cards, which is how the Natoma is going to play, which is very simple. This is probably the easiest automa that I've ever done. So you shuffle those 7 cards, take one out, and we'll be using the rest. Get your color for the Natoma and yourself. You've got the week marker, so we're starting in week 1. And each of us is going to start with 2 eggs and a young fish. And that is going to be shown on the board for us in these 2 locations for the eggs, and there for the young fish. But basically taking a look at our board, up top, well, when we play, we have 2 options. We can either play a fish card on the board, or we can go diving in a section. So these columns here are the 3 different dive sites we have. And basically for game purposes, they're the same as far as what's going down. But if you dive down here, you're probably going to get more cards. Diving down here, eggs, and diving down here, you're going to hatch eggs into young fish. And then we have rows going across, and they're set up in different depths. So this top depth is going to be our sunlight zone. So we've got 3 rows of that. And then we have our twilight zone, 1 row of that. And then we have 2 of the midnight zones down here. And we do have some printed fish on the board. So they do count for these abilities. So when you go for a dive, you'll place some on here. If you have a fish in this column that you're going down, you'll get the benefit, and then you move down. If you have a fish in here, you get a benefit. Here, you get a benefit. And once you get to the bottom, if it's your first time in this dive, you'll get the bonus on each of those sections. So we get an egg in these 2 areas and a fish there. This is the first player marker. When you're playing solo, you are always first player, so you can just set that wherever you like. The stack of cards here is our starter cards. And you can tell, well, from the back, and also they have this slight edge there in color. Since we've got this open for fish, we've got the name, potentially a tag on it. Some cards may reference how much it costs to play it. So this one we have to discard 2 cards from our hand to play it, but after we play it, we get to draw 4 cards. Some flavor text. Down here, it's going to let us know what size the fish is. So with that symbol there, that's a small fish. Victory points, and then what zone they can go into. You can see we have different fish there. So this one can be in our sunlight or twilight zone. This one here, twilight and midnight zones. We've got small fish, medium fish, and if it's all colored in, it'll be a large fish. We have if activated, so if you're diving in their column, they give you ability then. There's also some in-game areas there. So just give this a shuffle, and we'll start with 2 starter cards. The rest we can just put to the side. So we're starting with a barrow eye. It's going to cost us 2 eggs to put it into play, and then if it's activated, it's going to hatch one of those. Nice flavor text. Its head is transparent with tubular eyes peering up from inside. The twin eye holes in the front are actually nostrils. Then we have the pork fish. See, it costs 1 egg to get in play. This one can go in our top layer, and this one can come down in our lower layers. So your hand just goes to the left side of your board. I'm going to sit my divers up top. And this stack of cards, just give it a quick shuffle, and then we get 3 of these to start with. 1, 2, 3. We've got a pennant coral fish, a sailfin flying fish from the cover of the box, and the paint spotted moray. All right. So with that, we are set to go. So basically, we always go first. We're either going to play a fish or do a dive, flip a card, do what that says, and repeat. Since we have 6 divers, we have 6 turns every week of the game. And this is 4 weeks long. So after we do a week, we'll do some scoring for the week's achievement. Then the 4th round, there is no week achievement. We'll just finish through that and then tally up our points at the end. There is a player reference, so you can go over all the iconography. And then anatomy of the fish card, which we've kind of gone over. Name, tags, ability, size of the fish, victory points at the end of the game, the zone they can be played in, and then their cost. And I guess one more thing to mention on the fish, some of them don't have a border, which means they can be played anywhere in their zone. Some of them do. So when you play this one, it's got to go in this far left zone. And of course, if they have the purple, they have to go in the center area, and green will have to go on the far right. So with that, I think we are ready to get started. And I think we're going to start with the cover of the box. So we need to put this into play. Well, first we're going to take a diver and put it over to the side. So that's a spot when you're playing a card. Cost is 2 cards. So we will we'll just play these 2. We'll take those to the side. So that is going to be our personal discard pile. And of course, our week 2, we want rows of fish. So I'm going to play this one here. And if we send a diver down here, once the diver gets to this point, that symbol lets us take a card out of our discard pile, put it back in our hand. And if we don't have any in our discard pile, we get to draw from the top of our deck. So I've got that in the zone it needs to go into. So we've taken our turn, so now it's the Nautima's turn. We flip over. It's going to do things from the top to the bottom. This symbol means it's going to take one of their divers and put on the achievement. So that's basically going to count as 1 item for that achievement. Then it's going to draw a card, and this is just saying if it has all the player abilities, then we get to participate in that this one time. So it's drawing into a Pacific White Skate. There's no all player ability, so that's just going to go over in their stack. Done with the Nautilus. So back to us. We're going to play another fish. So we'll play the paint spotted moray. It's going to cost us 2 eggs. So we take that off of our seaboard. Just put it back in the supply. And we're going to play it in this row here. So that meets its zone. And we get to take 3 cards out of our personal discard pile to put back in our play area. We only have 2 over here. So we'll get these 2 and then take a card off the top. Finding a pelican eel. And that's our turn, so we go over here and flip over. It's going to remove 1 off the achievement board. Then this means if they have 3 fish, they're going to combine them and to make a school of fish, but they don't have that many fish to do it, so they'll just skip that. This is saying for each egg, they are going to create 1 fish up to 4. So we remove these 2. Pop 2 young fish in that area, and then they're going to get 2 eggs. And that's it for the Ultima. Then I think we're going to go on our first dive. Kind of restricted where we can play the cards here. We've got mostly the sunlight and twilight, but 3 of our 4 cards have specific rows. So we're going to do our first dive. So we'll take a diver, set it up top. If we have a fish in this area, we get that ability or bonus. So we get to draw a card into a spook fish. Then coming down, if activated, get our cheat sheet here. Gain any card from your discard pile to your hand. If you have none remaining, draw the top card of the deck instead. So we don't have any, so we get 1 off the top. The Big Eye Smooth Head. And then we go to this section. We don't have any fish here, so we don't get that ability. Even though it's printed, that counts. So we get to draw a card there. Into a sargassum fish. Roll my eggs off to the side to make some room. Then we move all the way to the bottom. Since this is the first diver down there, we're going to get this ability here, which is another one of getting from our discard pile. But since we don't have one, we'll draw off the top, getting a giant manta ray. So that was our first dive. Then Ultima is going to put 1 up there, draw a card. The Elsman's Whip Nose. It's quite a whip off of that nose. Let me see, what's this thing cost? We don't have the eggs to pay for those. We've got the fish and the cards. I kind of want something down here. But to play this one, he needs to go over top of another fish, which means his size needs to be bigger than the other size, but I want to play him in this area, which isn't going to happen. So I guess we'll just go with what we've got. So we're going to dive again, going down our center space. Getting an egg. So with eggs, they have to go on a fish, and you can have a max of 1 egg on a fish. But you can put it on any fish that's in play. Then there's no ability there. Onto this area, we've got a fish here, so we get to put another egg in play. No fish here, so moving on down, and the 1-time bonus there is another egg. And Ultima is going to remove a diver. We have 3 fish now, so we will convert those to a school. Then for every egg up to 4, create a fish or a young one, and then put 2 eggs back. Let's take a look again. We're going to send this guy over here to bring in this fish. It's going to cost us 1 card and 2 eggs. And we are going to put this one in this area. And then when played, we'll put an egg on each fish. Well, for the payment, we'll swap that over. In the purple, each fish is going to get an egg. So get one there and get one there. And then over here, goes up top. We don't have 3 fish to convert. We have 2 eggs that make 2 fish, and then we add 2 more eggs. Then our last thing to do for points, we get 1 point for each egg and baby fish. We'll go down this again. 1 egg, put that over here. 1 more egg, put that on this one. And then we don't have anything here, and the bonus isn't available. Over here is going to remove a diver and draw a card. Getting the abyssal spiderfish. And that's our first week. So now we'll do our scoring. So we look at our week 1. So for that, eggs and or young, it's got a base of 3. For every diver that was up there, we would add 1 to it. So it's staying at 3, and it gets 1 for each, so 3 points. Me and AI, so the AI just got 3 points. And then for us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the scoring for the week 1 achievement. So at the end of the week, we'll move the marker up, move any divers down, take these cards, try to shuffle, remove 1, and for scoring, we'll just go to week 2. So you can see for rows of fish, it's getting a base 0. So it's just going to get however many divers get up that far. And then for us to reset, move our divers around, and we're done. So week 2, we already have 1 row. We've got another row almost done. I still want a good engine for making eggs and hatching, but definitely want to get this easy 2 points. And the manta ray would do that. So I think that's what we'll do. Take a diver, put him over there. 2 cards. Those are a bit restrictive for me, so we'll just use those. And 1 fish. And our when played bonus is we get 3 fish. We can put those anywhere we want. So what we're going to do, well, they do have to go on a fish to start with. We're just going to put all 3 here. So the rule is on that, whenever there are 3 fish in an area that does not already have a school, they automatically become a school of fish. All right, then Nonima. If there was a diver up there, we'll remove it. We have 3 fish over here, so we'll make a school. And for each egg up to 4, we get a fish. And then 2 more eggs come into play. I feel like I should pretty easily be able to get another row in here, which would also help us getting some fish in this area for the abilities. So we're going to take the old barrel eye. Take a diver over here. It's got to go in the green section. It's going to cost us 2 eggs. And when I come down here with a diver, it's going to hatch an egg. And we go over here. It's going to remove a diver and then draw a card. The giant devil ray. Then back to us. I think we're going to go diving to draw some cards. So there, got a fish in that area. Plate fish. And then if activated, we get a card out of here. That one's worth 6 points later on, so we'll bring that one out. Then moving on down, draw a card to a giant hawkfish. Then an Arabian carpet shark. And then we get one card out of our stack. We'll take the coral fish and done with her dive. So here we get 2 fish from the eggs, and then 2 eggs come right back. All right, do we have something that can go down here? This one can, but he's got to eat something first. So we did not get the fish I was hoping for. All right, we're going to dive down here. So we're going to hatch an egg. Then hatch another egg for this ability. And then this lets us move. We're just going to move this out of the way. And then if activated, hatch an egg. And then move down. And we get to move a fish. So I'll just move this one down here. So basically they can go orthogonally in a straight line as far as you want them to go. Unless it's one of these, they can't be in the same space with another school. All right, so we're getting a diver up top, drawing a card. They've got a football fish. And back to us, we're going to lay some eggs. So we want one there for sure. Then come down, we'll put one there. Then that's not going to activate, but we get one for that one. And done. All right, remove the diver. Turn 3 fish into a school. Then 2 eggs into 2 fish. And then get her 2 eggs back. So I think we're going to place another fish on the board. We'll take this green one. It's going to cost us a card. And an egg. And we're going to place that up here. It's got an if activated ability. Then over here, they're adding a diver and drawing a card. Clown anemone fish, anemone. All right, we're done with week 2 then. So this gives them a base of 0. They have one up there, so that's going to score them 2 points. And then for us, we only got 2 rows, so we get 4 points. Not the best, but we'll take it. Then moving on to week 3. Okay. So I'm going to go with the spookfish. And we are going to play it, costing 2 cards. It's only got 1 zone it can go in. We're going to play it over top of this one, so consuming. The only requirement is that it has to be a bigger fish, so this is 7 centimeters on top of 3. And it's just going to keep whatever was there. It's got an ability that, if activated, all players get an egg somewhere. And then for this, each time your diver lands on a if activated ability, an automa gains a fish. And then when we play something that says when played, if it's an all player, it gets 4 fish eggs. So that was our diver action. Then over here, they bring up, a diver. Then turn those 2 eggs into 2 small, and then we get the 2 eggs back. Then we're going to go diving down the blue for cards. Diving for fish. Found a cookie cutter shark. It's called a cookie cutter shark because it takes a perfectly round cookie-sized plug of flesh from its prey. And if activated, we get a card back from our discards. We'll take the pork fish. And draw another card. To the parrotfish from the Mediterranean. Great northern tilefish. And then we get another fish out of here. Take the giant hawkfish. And that'll be our turn. And over here, it's just converting eggs to fish and then 2 more eggs. All right, I guess we're going to go lay some eggs then. We will put one down here and then throw one up there. And then all players get one. And we get another one. And their one-time bonus, we get another one. Over here, they lose this diver, convert 3 into a school. 3 fish come over, and we lay 2 eggs. All right, now we're going hatching. We'll hatch here first, which creates 3 fish in the same spot, so we make a school. Then we hatch another one, and another one, and another one, actually no, that was a move. We'll just move this all the way down to the bottom. And then coming down, get to move another fish again, which we're not going to do. Then lose a diver, they don't have any, draw a card. The Atlantic wolf fish. We're going to bring in another fish. It's going to cost us an egg. There, we move a diver up and draw a card. A sailfish. Then we're going to hatch some fish. We'll hatch this one. Then we get to have another one. Hatch again. Then move. We'll move this one over here to get 3 to make another school. And activate to hatch, but we're out of eggs, and then move on down. And finishing, get a diver and draw a card. Crocodile fish, and that's going to end week 3. So week 3 for schools, they start with a base 0, but they end up with 2, which means they're going to get a total of 4 points. And we end with 3 schools, getting 6 points. Move over to the 4th week. On the 4th week, since there is no scoring, bringing divers up is not going to matter. Give this a final shuffle. And remove a card, and then get our 6 divers back. All right, let's see here. We don't really have big point fish anywhere. So we'll take one shot at trying to see if we can get some. We'll go for a dive. A live shark sucker. Get one back. And draw another card. 6-point hog fish. Then a 1-point pilot fish. And get our other card back. So that did not work out to benefit us. There, they're going to convert 3 small fish into a school. And then 2 small fish come over. And they get their 2 eggs back. Then we're going to go the egg route. Get one there. Get one there. All players get one. And we get one there. Then the diver doesn't matter. Convert 3 into a school. Then those 3 eggs become 3 fish, and they get 2 back. All right, off to hatching. We'll hatch there. Then hatch here. Hatch there. Then move. Just tell him to get out of the way. Hatch there. And we get to move. We'll bring this one over and make a school. Then drawing a card. Finding a common fang tooth. Let me just see if we've got some quick points anywhere. This thing cost a card and a fish. Don't want to pay that cost of paying fish. That guy's got to eat something. Then all players get eggs on the medium-sized fish, which is going to be 3 eggs. So 3 eggs and 3 points. We'll go ahead and do that for an action. And we're going to have it come in and consume this little guy. So it's 100 centimeters eating a 9 centimeter. Then all players, unfortunately, that throws 4 eggs over here. And I think I said we're only getting 3. Okay. So 3 youngins turn into a school. Then up to 4 eggs come in. And then they get 2 more. And we're going to lay some eggs. Put one there. Bring in another one. And another one. Everyone gets one. And done. Draw a card. Got a striped marlin, so none of those cards helped us out at all. And then for our last action, we're going hatching. We'll start with this one. So that's going to bring in our third fish, creating a school. And then if activated, that's going to hatch one, bringing in our third. And then we'll hatch another one. And move a fish, which isn't going to help us anywhere. We got 2/3 of a school. All right. And then they're going to turn 4 eggs into 4 fish. Then get 2 eggs. All right. So it's all over but the counting. So next up is game end points. We don't have any in play, but that's what that would look like. So that's a big 0 for both of us. Then points printed on visible fish. Basically in accounting, each one of these cards is 3 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 33 points. And then for us, we've got 3, 7, 11, 15, 17, 22, 25, 33. And for us, we get 1 point for each egg, so that's 3 points. For them, they get 1 point for every 2, so that's going to be 1 point. And then young, we each get 1 point each. We get 2. They get a bit more than 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Schools, we get 6 points each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gets us 36. And they get 5 points for each. So 10, 20, 35. And then consumed fish, they don't have that option. I think we covered up 2, 1, 2. Yep. And then math. All right, so close game, but still not the greatest scores. We ended up with 92, and the AI Nautica had 90. And we played it on level 2. So like I said, they does have 5 levels you can go on to increase the difficulty. Also, playing on the other side, you get to bring in the other tokens. And basically there's 1 bar, 2, and 3 bars on each of those. So when you decide to do that, you've got 3 options and they're double-sided. So basically you just randomly pick one, flip it, and put it on those additional weeks. So here we've got the 2 bars. So there's the medium fish, some of the tags. So definitely different options for increasing or decreasing the difficulty. And tons more fish to look at. So that was a quick overview of how to play FINSPAN solo. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.